The primary objective is always going to be to cause stress. Or let me rephrase that. The main primary objective is always going to be to keep stress elevated. There's multiple reasons why that benefits the enemy. When our stress levels are elevated, it makes it so that it's harder to breathe. That's the first and foremost reason. The second reason is that following the fact it's harder to breathe, it makes it harder to relax. As second nature, our bodies, and you can already hear one of the tactics they use, which is sound, is they use sound waves to create elevated levels of stress. And really, a lot of people don't even know that they are targeted. But once you start to break down the reason that it's so loud and you realize that they use sound to keep you elevated, it will make you want to learn how to control your heart rate and do things like that. That's the best thing you can do, the smartest thing you can do. If you want to live longer, it's beneficial to keep a low heart rate. When our heart rates are elevated, it keeps us in a state of fight or flight. The brain cannot unlock its fullest potential in a fight or flight state. Anybody that's ever studied martial arts understands as second nature that whenever you keep a low heart rate, when you keep a nice calm sense about yourself, you're able to use more power for longer duration. But when the stress level is elevated for a longer period, it causes you to get sick. Now, generally, when you first starting to try to relax your heart rate, that's when you notice how stressed you are. It doesn't get better right away, it gets worse, and they know this. So that's why they don't have to try so hard to affect you. Because if you're just starting to learn how to calm your heart rate and eat a better diet, it's not going to be simple. 98% of people fail when it comes to New Year's resolutions and setting goals. And they know this because we lack focus. So basically, if you can just simply maintain focus and maintain a good practice without setting yourself up for failure by trying to reap all the results right away, if you can just be thankful for the little bit that you get, then you will see greater. You will see greater effects of practice. You'll see greater levels of achievement in your life. Now, there's multiple tactics they use. Genuinely, anyone that is got a little bit of knowledge knows that the human body does better when it's outside in nature. So the problem is we're tearing down the trees, and the enemy is doing it at a very quick rate, and the forest and trees and nature is becoming smaller and smaller, and it's making it harder and harder to find that peace of quiet. You have to have more and more money. You have to have more and more land or ingenuity to build and create that peace of quiet nature. But when you have that peace of quiet nature, it will benefit your health. Now, part of the program they use is sirens. They use sirens and emergency vehicles to create a constant state of noise in the background, because it does what? It keeps the heart rate elevated. The higher your heart rate is, the higher your stress by nature. unless if you know how to train yourself, train your mind. And it doesn't come naturally to us as humans to train and discipline. So to those of you that are new to figuring out that you are targeting individuals, you're going to actually have to put some effort into it. Now, what the primary objective